Kama kuna kitu undesirable in life ni pain. And nobody wants to go through pain. Hata kama tunasemaga zingine ni za kutufanya get better, it doesn't always feel like so. Kuna rafiki yangu mwingine niliona amesema juzi that sio kila uchungu itakutokelezea ama itakufanya utokelezee mahali pazuri. Kuna ingine utapitia ukufe. I thought it was funny. And it makes sense because some people have died as they go through whatever they go through. But I also tend to think that some of the things we go through for a reason. And in most cases, if we pay attention and we are careful and we hold on until we get to the other side, we will realize that reason, because sometimes, or most of the times, God will use that pain to heal the lives of other people. Na wakati mwingine hata haikuwagi eti mtu ameokoka. Kuna watu wengine wanapitia tu mauchungu, alafu unakuta kwamba hiyo uchungu yake imekuponya. For example, kuna wakati nilikuwa napitia hali ilikuwa ngumu sana. I lived a huge portion of my life thinking I was HIV positive. This is not to mean that anybody who is HIV positive doesn't have a future. They do. I really do think they do. And I sincerely think they do. If only they can look carefully into their life and let God show them the purpose. So I lived a big chunk of my life thinking so. Now it really affected me. It really affected everything around me. Paka ikafika siku moja nikasema, sasa nitaenda kuchunguza nipimwe so that I arrange nijipange. Kama ni kuenda nioe mtu mwingine ako kama mimi tupate watoto. And I forget about everything. But it had really messed up my life. Now, siku moja I was in a bar drinking my sorrows away. And I had always tried to share this story with guys as we drank or anything. But nikiangalia nione haushikanishi the depth or the intensity of the story, I would just rub it off. So this time, I'm with my cousin. I'm drinking, and then my cousin, quite an older one, comes. And for some reason, I share this story. Tunakunywa tu. And I was surprised. He had a similar story from his experience. He shared with me. And he told me, there is nothing wrong with you. All that is wrong with you is in your head. Akaniambia siku moja nitakuja nikutoa nikupeleke uende upimwe, you realize you don't have any problem. And it really inspired me. The following day, hata sikumwambia, I just went to a VCT center. To cut the story short, I will tell it another day, I wasn't HIV positive. And now, that was beginning of another phase of my sorrow. Because each time yote nilikuwa nafikiria niko positive, there are things I did that I would never have done. Nilikuwa nimevuta bangi, nilikuwa nimekunywa pombe sana. Nilikuwa nimelala na prostitutes, you know. I had done all sorts of things because I thought, after all, what am I living for? So now I had to start now thinking, what am I going to do with this life now that I'm not dying, I'm living and all that, you know. But the nini of the story, the moral of the story, nilikuwa nataka nikuambia kwamba vitu zingine tunapitiaga ili watu wengine wanaweza kuwa blessing. Now my cousin went through that. And his story became my turning point. You see, probably yeye kwa sababu hajaokoka, probably haiwezi kuwa na hiyo weight yenye ninaongelelea, but to me it has a lot of weight. He went through that so that he could share the story with me, and that story could become my inspiration, and that was the beginning of change, including to who I am today, even including to me being born again. You see, so story yako inaweza kuwa ni different, but I do believe that in most cases, not most cases, I'm just saying this so that somebody may not feel like nitaka kuingiza yake kwa mpango wa Mungu. There is always a reason. There is always a reason why we go through what we go through. And if we allow God time, tuvumilie, tuombe. Naambiaga mtu shida yako inaweza kuwa kubwa sana na uniletee. Hata mimi mwenyewe nikiangalia naona na hii ni kubwa. But at the same time, I know that there is no problem that is too difficult for God. I may look at it and I'm like, gosh, now how will I help this one? But God is not looking at it and goes like, gosh, how will I help this one? He is, if I may put it, he is the the gosh, God. No, he won't say that. But you see, he is not saying, what will I do? Because he has answers for every question. So I may not give you an answer. Hata inaweza kunishtua. But the thing is, haitashtua Mungu. Unielewa? Na inaweza kuwa unapitia ili mtu mwingine asaidike. Leo nilikuwa naongea na rafiki yangu mwingine. Ali grow up, ikafika wakati akiwa mtoto, she doesn't even remember, she was told that kuna wakati alikuwa molested as a child. Na vile alijua she was molested as a child, it really like ikamharibu tu, yani kila kitu ilipoteza, utamu wa maisha ikaisha. Now she start getting worried, what will happen to me, what will people think about me? Na vile nimeokoka, I'm not even a virgin, it was not my fault, you see? Vitu kama hizo. And then she went and shared the story with a pastor of hers, who was also a pastor of mine at that time. And she only to discover that this pastor, the pastor's wife, had also gone through the same. But hers was while she was a child, a preteen, And she was able to help her overcome it and become confident again. But I also think that shida moja tunakuwa nayo sisi ambao tuko na mastori ambazo zinaweza inspire watu, ambazo zinaweza lete change. We don't share these stories because sometimes they are shameful, sometimes zitaguza watu ambao wako karibu na sisi na hatutaki kuonekana kama tunawahanika. And I really appreciate people who talk because they really help people heal. There is something, I think there is something therapeutic about someone sharing something you're going through and understanding that you're not alone in this thing. And I think we should normalize speaking. But the enemy would not want that, because if we do normalize speaking, so many people will be healed. I don't know what your story is, but probably if you started speaking about it, if you started sharing that story, it will become an inspiration. It is not about kuharibiana majina. It's not about kusema ubaya wa watu wengine. It's about just speaking. Probably your story will bring healing to another person.